Hey everybody, it's me Shane, and I'm here to give you another Digimon Adventure 2020 episode review and recap. Today's episode is episode 49, The God of Evil Descends, Millenniummon. As always, I would like to thank you for showing up, and please remember to give me a like, a comment, and a subscribe. I really appreciate it. It actually really helps the channel. We're on our way to that 100 subscriber mark. Yeah, apologize for the lack of content this week. It's been a long couple of days. I'll just leave it at that. So, without further ado, let's just go ahead and get right into it. As we remember last week, well, it was Mugendramon slash Mugendramon versus Wargreymon. A really great episode, a really great fight, which ends up with possibly Taichi and Agumon slash Wargreymon possibly being dead. We don't know. Of course, this is anime and it's Digimon. Maybe they're not dead. I decided to wear my sad dad shirt today, and it's very coincidental because I didn't expect what this episode was going to be. So there is a large crack within the bottom part of the cloud continent. It's just spreading across it. The rest are just, this is immediately after the massive nuclear explosion. Everyone's watching on. Sora is calling for Taichi on their digivices. No answer. And slowly from the waters rise the dark crystal that had Millenniummon's spirit. As we all know, it's Moon Millenniummon, but Millenniummon's spirit. But inside this crystal as well is Sephirothmon. It has I guess I don't want to call it the holy bands, but these bands that are crisscross around it. These At first I thought they were light. There's like beams of light, but it's like miniature platforms that have Vivadimon on them. It's just things are getting crazy as it rises from the water. And remember those cracks I told you before, where they're becoming deep red. The waves have been so massive and rough. They crash onto the other chosen children that are on top of Kodomamon inside the water. Meanwhile, while all of this is going on, Eldoradimon on the ground looks up and sees the massive cloud continent. It looks like something is going on with it. But on top of him are the other Digimon like Leomon, Lopmon, and their group, and they're looking on as well. Leomon says this feels very familiar, and Lopmon basically confirms that all the miasma that's up on the cloud continent starting to slowly condense together. And the same feeling that he has is the feeling that Lopmon has had before. It's Millenniummon. And all that darkness actually forms like a smoky, miasmic silhouette of Mugendramon's head. And it makes its way towards that dark crystal, just spinning all around. It looks like it's trying to get inside of it. As it does, Sephirothmon opens its large mouth inside the crystal, and it's like it's sucking in energy and data, and it just becomes this massive, amorphous white blob that's half made. Because you see an arm, and you see an eye with claws, and it's like they're slowly making the new body of Millenniummon. And the Vadimon, they're more or less doing their culty chant thing, saying that it's gonna rise, blah 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 blah, and and back on the ground with the chosen children, Yamato's like, all right, Koshiro Sora, you're coming with me, so we can stop that thing from fully forming. Everybody else, protect Patamon and Tailmon until they wake up. And Sora tells the others also, please look after Hikari. Because Hikari she's in shock. She can not believe what she saw regarding her brother. So they all rapidly evolve, going, Kabuteramon, Birdramon, and Metalgarurumon, because that's the only form of his that can technically fly. We're not going to count Sagittarius mode because it makes no sense just not to go to that Metalgarurumon form. Once again, Koshiro tries to call Taichi, but there's no avail. We get a very deep sense of everyone being concerned for one another, Because even Swords as in Birdramon, she was okay to fly, and Birdramon's like, I'm good. Let's do this. Very somber. It's very sombering episode. Just the feeling is oppressive with a bit of sadness and anxiousness. And of course, Yamato's he's more or less doing the leader rally call, like saying we got to destroy this thing before he fully forms. That's what we got to do. And back on the ground, Palmon's apologizing to Mimi because she's like, Lilymon can fly, but Palmon is hurt. Hikari's trying to ask Kodomamon to get them back across the river to the mainland. Joe has to remind her, Kodomamon is hurt. Like, this big thing was hurt by that giant wave splash. Mostly everybody is just either knocked out or wiped out and pooped out. Slowly, Tailmon gets up. Hikari tells Tailmon that Taichi and Agumon, she says they're kind of leaves it hanging. You get the feeling she doesn't want to tell it that they're dead because she's hanging on to hope. And we go back to the others, and as they're approaching, the large amorphous white blob within the crystal starts to drip something. It drips a piece of itself off, and it forms a Mega Digimon. This guy, Griffomon or Griffomon. Yeah, looks like a griffin, doesn't it? Because it is. And I'm going to go ahead and read Griffomon's encyclopedia page. It is a fusion Digimon, which is important to note, possessing the head, wings, and forelegs of a bird Digimon, and the body of a beast Digimon with a snake tail attached to it. It's able to fly about the skies with its wings, and said that it usually inhabits desert regions and mountain caves. Also, its offensive power is extremely great, and because it makes sport of enemies with its keen movements, it's difficult to analyze a way to defeat Griffomon, which more or less kind of subtly comes up in this episode. To make use of these abilities, it serves as a guard defending all against illegal penetrations of the internet and is used for security of confidential information. I mean, Millenniummon's new body spawn is two-guarded, so yes. Special move is producing a extremely high frequency sound wave that obliterates the opponent's data structure, which actually does happen. And you can guess who's going to fight Griffomon. Koshiro Han confirms that this is indeed a mega level Digimon. So Yamato says him and Millenniummon are going to handle him. Sora and Koshiro just take care of the stupid body, right? And now we're back on the ground again. And I forget who said it. I believe it was Takaru pointing out that Goemon had fallen out of Kodomamon. And he was asking Joe to let him evolve so they can, try to get them across, try to do something, because Tai and Agumon didn't give up and just they don't want to feel useless and helpless, and they are legitimately hurt. But the sacrifice that their friends have made is just it's weighing heavy on everyone. And this is kind of reminding me of Digimon Tamers almost. Speaking of Digimon Tamers, I forgot to tell you where else Griffomon came from. Griffomon was in Digimon Season 3 Digimon Tamers. It was one of the Digimon that had fully digivolved to face the D Reaper that got defeated. It also was with a bunch of other aerial Digimon trying to fight the Royal Knights in Digimon Frontier, which it again lost to. So, yeah, we've seen this guy before. It's more of an older Digimon, but yeah. So, Kodomamon, for some reason, tries to move itself, but as it moves, it's ripping up flowers that are on the ground. And everybody was saying, oh yeah, when Mugendramon had attacked, it kind of moved around the earth a little bit and there are flowers underneath. So the flowers are kind of rising and falling, and Mimi's like just looking over them, kind of thinking over things. And at this point, Patamon gets up. Tankaru's is so happy that he's up. He's giving him a hug. The situation looks really bleak because at one point, Tailmon's looking at Hikari. Tailmon's looking up, was like, I don't know what to do right now. It's very obvious that Hikari she's sitting on the edge of the water. So it's obvious that she's hurting, but at the same time, Telmon's like, this thing is gonna get revived at this rate. I don't know what to do. So meanwhile, up in the sky, all the Vetamon that are on these platforms are firing at Kabuterimon and Bergermon. They're doing pretty decent clashes with the meteor wings against their little ray guns. But yeah, I had to remind myself that Vatamon, while ugly and weird, are technically ultimate level Digimon, so it makes sense. Uh, Metal Garurumon gets caught by an ultrasonic blast from Griffomon, and the pod of data in its data, well, the data structure in its paw was starting to shift, and that's what the attack does. I love that in this show, whatever's already in the encyclopedia is kind of reinforced, if not remixed how the Digimon appears. They at least kind of keep true to some of the stuff that's still in there, which is pretty interesting. So, again, Hikari's by the water. We get the sense of sadness from her because they don't color in the top part of her eyes. You've seen it. I'm pretty sure you all have seen the Monkey D. Luffy with the hat lowered and it's dark right there. That's to show, sadness, pensiveness, uh, a large, somber, and depressed mood on the inside of the characters. And Mimi approaches her, saying that she wants to believe, she wants to think that they're okay, she wants to believe that they're safe. And, she's saying it's normal that you're worried because it was a large explosion. And she's more sitting behind her. She starts getting some of the flowers that have been turned up. And Telmon's wondering what is she doing. Well, she says, "I'm trying to make a corsage," and she goes to explain what a corsage is. Where you put it on the arm, the head, or the chest. And yeah, at this point, Hikari starts to cry. Like she's starting to cry. Basically weep, not even cry, begin to weep. And Mimi, without hesitation, drops the flowers and moves in and hugs her. Which everybody's kind of watching, everybody understands it, but it's we're getting some more. I don't want to say character development from Mimi. This isn't development. This is showing her character. And after she hugs her, we're gonna cut back to Metal Garurumon having a very hard time fighting against Griffomon, which, just like the encyclopedia said, it's hard to pin it down, so it's hard to analyze how to beat this guy. Meanwhile, our other two, I won't call them backup heroes, but our other two, Sora and Koshiro, their Digimon go to their ultimate forms. They Super Shinka, Super Evolve, Garudamon / Gardramon, that's how they say it in Japan, and Alter Kabuterimon / Mega Kabuterimon Red. It's time for them to get to their ultimate forms and not focus on the Bodymon. They're focusing on the crystal, and they're just doing their attacks. Their attacks aren't really doing much. The Shadow Wing and Hornbuster are just, the body is slow, and as they hit it, the body slowly forms, and it makes Koshiro like go whoa, because we haven't seen this Digimon in this season, but the Digimon that it resembles heavily is Chimeramon. Remember him from Digimon Season 2 / Digimon Adventure Season 2, when the Digimon Emperor had created him using data from all different kinds of Digimon, body and head of Greymon, carapace of Kabuterimon, Devimon arms, which served to also corrupted Kabuterimon's, I think, Kabuterimon's wings, and Skullgreymon hand, Kawagamon arm, that's 4 arms, legs of Garurumon. This thing's literally a chimera hodgepodge of champion / ultimate level Digimon, with Skullgreymon being the only ultimate. But yeah, the fact that both of these two Digimon hit it, and in front of it are these wings that look like Bergermon wings. So I have a theory about that, and I hope I remember to come back to it. So, as Mimi properly hugs Hikari, she says, and as she's speaking, everyone, and I wonder, it makes me wonder how the Digivices work. I feel like not just are they based on knowing how to use them or heightened emotional moments. I think, well, no, this is a heightened emotional moment. May not be like need extreme, what I'm looking for, urgency, but it's extreme sadness, extreme some type of extreme emotion because everyone's listening to Mimi talk to Hikari, saying, "You must have a lot of memories of you and your brother, right? Happy memories." Taichi liked to smile a lot, and that's the thing I really liked about him is that he always smiled. And she says, her grandfather always has a stern face, but she loves his smile as well. And she says, "I think I'm the kind of person that likes seeing people smile." And what she confirms, she says, a quote from her grandfather: "When I'm with my beloved family and my very good friends, put it naturally puts a smile on his face." And Yamato smiles at this. Everyone is listening, which I don't want to say it's a break from the action. It more adds layers to this emotional episode. Not breaking the action because you know they're trying to fly and get out of this Kangen-ish area while they're fighting, but everyone's listening, so you're caught up in the emotion of the moment to kind of forget this. And the music is swelling. Mimi is starting to cry herself, and she says she's gonna believe that they're okay. And everyone is smiling at this point now, because Mimi's crying, Hikari's crying with the tears, and Yamato's like, all right, it's time to get serious because now we get that nice swell of the natural Digimon music that's in this show. And Telma says, you know what? Since I'm going to believe, you're going to believe too, Hikari. And Hikari agrees. And one of the things that happened during this that actually made me tear up is that we get moments of Hikari with Taichi, like them walking down the street hand in hand, brother and sister, a little bit younger. They're well, not younger, but they're actually playing like I guess Digimon World's equivalent of a Nintendo Switch. A little bit younger, they're on the playground playing. We get the young Hikari with the little short hair. All these memories are very happy. And I'm glad Hikari's not super sickly in this one, but I digress. So we get those, and that made me tear up. That was actually a really great moment, and everyone's agreeing they're gonna believe in Taichi. They're gonna believe that Taichi and Agumon are okay. Hikari even says, "I'm gonna make a corsage for my brother too." So huge, huge moral boost, huge morale boost, not moral boost, morale boost. And Yamato says he's gonna believe along with Garurumon because Garurumon's like Yamato's like, "Yep, we're gonna have this belief too. Let's take this effort down." I had to censor myself. So they're racing. Remember, these are two fast mega level Digimon. Middle Garurumon gets ahead, and Griffomon's just steadily speeding. They do a U-turn, and he does this move called Grace Cross Freezer. Literally, it is him, instead of using the Tomahawk missile, which proved to be too slow, firing every missile on him. Griffomon, while fast enough to stay out of reach of these missiles, it just cannot keep up that pace. The missiles eventually catch up, and we get a nice little moment where if Digimon had blood, I'm pretty sure it's the pixels because Yamato's looking up, and Griffomon is destroyed off screen, but you see the pixels, those destroyed pixels, just run across his face. Which, if Digimon bled, that would probably be blood. Actually, they do bleed. Now that I think about it. Well, if they exploded in the blood, there you go. So, uh, man, I had this moment written down all the way. So, the uh, the evil shadow of Millenniummon is behind this amorphous blob, slowly coming over it. It's starting to invade and get inside the body, and the lump they're like small lumps appearing on the body, which I thought they were lumps, but it's more smoke because eventually this entire crystal becomes smoke filled, and the Hornbuster and Shadow Wing aren't doing anything to it, but Grace Cross Freezer again. Yamato's firing just missiles are just coming out of Metal Groove. I saying, keep doing it. Does the Grace Cross Freezer again. Their attacks do nothing. Literally do nothing. As dark lightning is crackling all over this thing. As the mass and smoke is fully formed up. Vitamin says rise in Millenniummon. Bright purple light. And we get a wonderfully drawn shot, which looks like a squall inside the squall of a storm. You get this small pocket of purple energy that literally explodes, and trickling down like a star is the fully formed body of what we all know as Millenniumon. This is Millenniumon. Not the stuff from the flashbacks, which was Moon Millenniumon. This guy. Hey boy, and this bad boy. This bad boy here. Let me tell you guys what his encyclopedia page says. He is a mega composite Digimon that has fused the overwhelming power possessed by Mugendramon and the data of various Digimon. The data of various Digimon that have been collected by possessed by Chimeramon is said to be impossible to defeat, and at present, the unclear cause of his future is not ascertained. But it's unlikely that any clues will be found. Its special move is creating a different dimension that compresses time, and it can keep an opponent in that subspace for eternity. That move's called Time Unlimited. That actually plays a role in this episode as well. We've definitely seen Millenniummon before. If you are someone from Japan, Millenniummon showed up in the Wonder Swan games featuring Kenichi Joji, well, Ken's brother, and Kenichi Joji in Rio. You know, Rio from Digimon Tamers. I remember when Rio had crossover from Digimon Adventure Season 2 to Digimon Tamers Season 3. Millenniummon, which is this reading here, is seen in the flashback where Ken pushes Rio out the way and is hit by the Dark Seed. Dark Seed was meant for Rio. It is actually revealed in Brave Tamer, I believe that's the game, that he is actually Rio's true partner. So this guy started off as the Monodramon, became Millenniummon, was corrupted, and went back into Monodramon slash Cyberdramon. After Millenniummon was defeated, Rio was given a choice of either staying in that world or going to another one. And when he went to the other one, of course, his family was somehow magically transported with him. I really, really wish that story was animated, at least with a 6-episode OVA, because that story is very interesting. I remember reading that when I was younger, finding that whole story just amazing. Because Rio is one of the original Digimon tamers. He's one of the original children. You see him a lot in early Digimon stuff. So yeah, this is Millenniummon. Now, if he looks familiar, I mentioned Chimeramon. He's literally Chimeramon with a darker color scheme, except those top arms don't look like the arms that Chimeramon had. Looks like they're a little bit more streamlined. The bottom two arms definitely look like Devimon, and that cloak, instead of having wings, that is a cloak that's literally Mugendramon slash Machine Dramon. I mean, it's for some reason it keeps the cannons, but that is, I wish I could show that. There you go. Yeah, you see that? That's literally him. Look at the arms. That's the arms. Just cheese. So, as this guy appears, of course, Telmon says his name. By the way, this guy appearing made like that big purple explosion. The Vanemon are dead. They're not here. If either they were absorbed or they were killed. As soon as someone says his name, it's dark, evil eyes open up, and it sends out this wave of dark purple energy. And while it sends out this wave of dark purple energy, things look really bleak. But suddenly, as Sakari's looking up, Taichi's crest symbol, the symbol of courage, flashes, and she gets surprised. Everyone sees this large pillar of orange light, just like in the opener that we see. We see that Wargreymon silhouette, and everybody's like, yes, they lived, as they are all, looks like they got Infinity War. It looks like they all got snapped. Because their bodies become digitized and they're disappearing. Everybody but Hikari's digitized last as she calls out to her brother. And we get the most amazing frame of well-inked, well-shadowed Wargreymon. The eyes are, you don't see the eyes, you don't see Taichi, but we see that big green gleam slash glimmer from the eyes. Kind of like a Gurren Lagann kind of gleam. And that's where the episode ends. Whew. Encyclopedia was on No Himemon. Like I told you guys, when No Himemon showed up, the crow is the real body. One thing Coach will add is that has really good fashion sense, and he's gonna ask Tillamon about his fashion sense. Apparently, this is the mind of the crow. Next episode, Wargreymon and Taichi are gonna fight Millenniummon. Wowzer! And it looks like everybody's in this dark purple space. Could it be they're stuck in compressed time? Ooh. But eventually, I believe Takaru and Hikaru are gonna get out. I've already kind of been spoiled on what two Digimon are gonna happen. And if you have seen the poster for these last few episodes, you know the Mega Digimon that are coming. Uh, with I won't spoil it because I want to talk about it when it happens next week. But with no real spoilers, I find it interesting that these two Digimon turn into these two things, and I think they turn into these alternate Mega forms because, just like we've seen throughout the episode, they are not at their full power, and they are in a different space. Remember, Metal Greymon turned into Blitz Greymon because of the different area, and Patamon turned into Pegasmon because of unlocking its hidden power within. Yeah, I'm trying to. Is there anything I forgot? No, I didn't. No, I didn't. I do appreciate because we don't get Chimeramon, which I I think Chimeramon would have been a really great Ultimate Digimon for all of the chosen ones to fight together. That would have been something to see. But I deeply appreciate how they took a different stance on it. Since Sephirothmon absorbs all the data of every Digimon, once it's trying to form this new body, which it took the place of Hikari, and Skull Knightmon slash Tailmon. Now it is the new body. When Bergermon and Kabuterimon attacked, that kind of jump started the data that was already using. I can appreciate them doing that. I like how they get to these conclusions of Digimon, just like how they showed basically Machine Dramon is a product of analyzing what Agumon was going through. I was trying to decide whether I would give this episode a 3 or 4, because 3, I try to base my review scoring on progression of plot, the art, cool moments. I have to give this a 4. Not saying it's the best, it's one of the best episodes. I appreciate the overall tone because in Digimon Adventure 1 and Digimon Season 1, while death became very imminent when Leomon died, or when Ogre, or when Shumon, when the Dark Master showed up, death and them being destroyed was imminent, was a clear and present danger. Goodness. Uh, we haven't really addressed Digimon reforming in this. I think I mentioned it once, and even then, apparently, it's a thing that may not happen depending on how you get destroyed. Ogremon, we still don't even know if he's gonna come back as a Digi-Egg or as himself. So the fact that they were addressing the fact that Taichi and Agumon might be dead, and I appreciate that. I appreciate that every character is heavy because Taichi got a moment with each of these guys, and we get to see personality shine through. Sora's still motherly, thinking of the little sister. Yamato remembers the promise that he made to his friend, and essentially being the other leader. The Wolverine to Taichi's. No, sorry, the Cyclops to Taichi's Wolverine. If I'm being completely honest, the fact that he had to keep moving, but at the same time, all of them saying, "We're just gonna go ahead and just believe in them because why not?" I do appreciate this episode for its emotional tone, and you know, while of course at the end we got them back, I just appreciate that they made you think, "Hey, these guys might be gone forever." Which is I find it interesting that last episode, Wargreymon was messed up to high hell, and at the end of this, we see him basically with everything on. I wonder if they went to another dimension, like in the original, when they got transported back home while everybody else was in the digital world and months had rolled by. I wonder if Taichi and Agumon end up going to a different dimension in the digital world or a different sector in the digital world, healed up, reminding themselves, hey, we got a job to do. People Our friends are waiting on us. Hikari's waiting on us. We got to do this. The world needs us. The digital world needs us. I would really like to see some type of side or extra episode saying what happened. Of course, at the end of all this, when they say, well, how'd you come back? Taichi be like, oh, it's nothing. Obviously, it's something. So, again, that's just my feeling on it. Please let me know what you think of the episode down below. Remember to give me a like, a comment. I really do want to hear from you. And subscribe. Hit that notification bell. Get notified of more videos like this. I do this every Sunday without fail for you guys because I love doing it. We share the video because, hey, we're going to show people what a great time I have with analyzing Digimon Adventure and the great time you have listening to it. I appreciate you for showing up. Thank you once again. As always, be good, be blessed. Wear a mask, wash your hands, be good to yourself, and be good to others. Don't be a jerk. Black Lives Matter, and I will definitely see you next time.